Hi, this is Asan. Today I'm going to show you how you can configure Windows Failover Cluster Manager. Failover Cluster Manager actually is part of high availability and disaster recovery solution. To configure Windows Failover Cluster, you need basically a couple of software, that is VirtualBox. You need Windows Server Operating System. You need SQL Server, and you need SQL Server Management Studio. So basically 4 software you need to configure Windows Failover Cluster. And what we will do, we will create actually 3 virtual machine. One will be our domain controller, and we will create another machine, that is Node1, and we will create another Node2. So how you will configure your domain controller? So domain controller, at first you need domain controller services. Domain controller services, after installing this role, you have to promote this server as a domain controller. So you have to assign a new forest, which is your domain name. Then this is our IP configuration. So suppose this is your IP address for domain controller 101, then for node 1 it can be 102, and IP address 103 for node 2, and subnet mask will be same. All of the machine subnet mask will be same, and default gateway will be also same for all machine, and the preferred DNS server. This is the IP address of your domain controller. So this is my domain controller, so IP address will be same IP address of your domain controller. And next node, so same 101. So 101 is actually our domain controller, that's why I put 101 as my DNS server. Same thing, our node 2, we have to provide IP address of my domain controller, which is 101. Okay, so let's get started. So I have already installed Oracle VirtualBox. So I have couple of virtual machine here. So I will create new machine. So new machine, so this machine will be my domain. So I will give name as domain, and the version, I will install Windows Server 2019, so I will choose 2019. Go next. So this is the RAM, so 2 GB for this particular machine domain controller. Okay, fine. Create virtual hard disk now. Create VDI virtual disk image. Next, dynamically allocated. Next. So domain controller 50 GB. Okay, 50 GB is fine for domain controller. Create. So this is my domain. Let me create another node. So this will be my node 01, and of operating system Windows 19. Next, same 2 GB RAM. Next, VDI. Next, dynamically allocated. Next, I will put 30 GB for this machine. So node 1 also created. Let me create another machine, node 02. So this machine version same. Next, 2 GB RAM, and hard disk 30 GB hard disk. Now create. So I have 3 machine here, domain, node 1, node 2. So let me just configure some network. So click on domain and click on network. Just change the network adapter. So by default it will show native. So you have to choose bridge adapter. Click OK. Same thing for node 1, network. Select bridge adapter. Okay. Node 2, same thing. bridge adapter. Done. So let me turn on my domain. I have to install my operating system here. So I have already downloaded my operating system here. Should be here. So this is my operating system, Windows Server 2019. So I have to choose the physical path from the meshing. So let me click on here, folder option, add, and go software. Here I have downloaded this software. Okay, always on. Okay, this is the operating system, Windows Server operating system here. ISO file, select. Okay, choose. Now start. So machine will be start. So this is my domain. Let me start my Node1 as well. Okay, so by default you can see here, this is my operating system. You can choose this one, choose start. So Node1 will be also start. Okay, now start Node2. Okay, select operating system ISO file here, choose start. So we are installing Windows Server operating system on 3 machine. So this is my domain, this is my Node1, and this is my Node2. Let me okay, this is language settings, by default English. Okay, fine, install now. Okay, choose last option, Windows Server 2019 Data Center Evaluation Desktop Experience. Make sure you choose desktop experience. Okay, next, accept this license term. Next, install Windows only advanced. Go next. So it will take a while. In the meantime, I can work on my first node, Node1. So next, install now. Okay, same thing, we have to choose the Windows Server 2019 Data Center Evaluation Desktop Experience. Next, accept this license term. Next, custom install Windows only advanced, select. Next, okay, it will install. Let's go back my Node2. So this is my Node2. Choose language. Next, install now. Last option, Data Center Evaluation Desktop Experience. Next, accept this license term. Next, install Windows only advanced. Go next. Okay, so let's see the status of my other machine. It will take a while. I will fast forward this part. While installing operating system, it will restart your machine couple of times, maybe twice. You don't have to do anything. We have to provide a strong password for this. Okay, enter. Press Ctrl and delete. Then you have to provide the password. Okay, I have to connect this network. Yes. First, we have to change the IP address. By default, the IP address is dynamic IP address. We have to provide static IP address. Don't show this message. So let me check what is my IP address. CMD IP config. So this is my IP address. they just provided by default, and this is dynamic IP address, it's not static. We have to make this IP address static. So 10.0.7, this is my IP address, and subnet mask is 255.255.255.0, and the default gateway is 10.0.0.1. so you can keep this node. You have to make these changes according this. Okay, let's go your local server from server manager. Local server, here Ethernet, double click on this Ethernet, double click properties, uncheck the internet protocol version 6, double click on internet protocol version 4, and put the IP address whatever they just provided by default, 10.0.07. okay, 10.0.0.7, and subnet mask is 255.255.255.0, and default gateway is 10.0.0.1. 10.0.0.1. and the DNS server, as I said before, we have to provide DNS server always our domain controller IP address. Since this machine we will make this machine as a domain controller, we can put same IP address. So this is my domain controller IP address, we have to provide this IP address, 10.0.0.7. now press OK, close it. So you can refresh your machine, you can see your IP address here, 10.0.07. now you have to turn off your firewall. Click on here, domain network, turn off, private network, turn off, public network, turn off. That's all. Refresh. Now change your computer name. Yeah. Click on computer name, change domain. So I'm giving this computer name as domain. It's okay. We have to restart this machine. Close it, restart now. So while it restarting, let me go back my Node1. So this is my Node1 installation done. So we have to provide a password. You can provide same password, or you can give different password. Okay. Control delete. Now unlock your computer, same providing the password. Okay, Node1 is also ready. Let me go back my Node2. I have to provide password, user password for administrator. Finish it. Now control delete. Now the password. Done. So Node1, Node2 is ready. Let me go back my domain controller. So yes, this is my Node1. So we will start working here. Let me just complete my domain controller machine. So this is my domain. Let's open. This is my domain computer. Okay, let me unlock this. Yeah. So we have just changed our IP address. We make our IP address static. We have turn off our firewall, and we have changed our computer name as domain. So yeah, now we have to add one feature to make this server as a domain controller. So let's go back your dashboard, add roles and feature, go next, next. So here, Active Directory Domain Service, second one. This is the role we have to install in this machine to make this server as a domain controller. So click on here, Active Directory, add feature. Now go next, next. So here you go, restart the destination server automatically if required. Click on here, install. Okay, installation completed. Now you can close it. So after installation, the active domain controller services, next step we have to promote this server as a domain controller. So how you can promote this server? So here you go, you can see there is a notification and there is a one notification. Click here, you can see post deployment configuration, and you have to promote this server to a domain controller. Okay, click on here. So here they required a forest name. We have to provide a forest name. So click here, add a new forest. Okay, let's say SQL .local. This is my domain. Or okay, let me go next. So we have to provide DSRM password. You can provide same password. Go next. Okay, NetBIOS domain name showing SQL. Okay, go next. Go next. So it will check some prerequisite whether you can make this server as a domain controller. Yeah, you can see here all prerequisite check passed successfully. Click install to begin installation. So you have some warning, but you can ignore this warning since the prerequisite checks passed successfully. You can install. Go ahead, install, and it will take a while. It will restart your machine couple of times. So in the meantime, we will work on our Node1 and Node2. Okay, let's go back. Our Node1. This is my Node1. So here we have to change the IP address. It is static. It is dynamic IP address. Now we have to provide static IP address. Let me check the default IP address that they have just provided for me. ipconfig. You can see the IP address 10.0.126. This is my IP address for this machine, and subnet mask also same 255.255.255.0 10 dot and gateway 10.0.0.1. So we need this IP address and this subnet mask and this gateway. So 126. Click on Ethernet IP address assign. Double click on Ethernet. Click properties. Uncheck Internet Protocol version 6. Check. Double click on Internet Protocol version 4. Use this following IP address. Click on here and provide the IP address 10.0.0.126. Let me double check. Yeah, 126. Subnet mask 255.255.255.0. Default gateway 10.0.0.1. And IP address, the preferred DNS server, as I said before, it should be always your domain controller IP address. So domain controller, this is our domain controller. So it's restarting. So we know the domain controller IP address. It was 10.0.0.7. Click OK. Close it. Refresh your server manager. Yes, your IP address has been assigned. Now you have to turn off your firewall. Double click on here. Domain network, turn off. Back. Private network, turn off. Public network, turn off. Refresh now again. Okay, now you can change your computer name. It should be Node201. We have to restart this machine. Start now. So it will restart. Let's go back our Node2. So Node2 is here. Show this message. Okay, we have to change the IP address for Node2. Go local server. Let me check the default IP address. IP config. So this for Node2 they have just provided 108. Okay, let me change that. Double click properties, uncheck the internet protocol version 6, protocol version 4, click following IP address 10.0.0.108. Subnet mask 255.255.255.0. Default gateway 10.0.0.1. And preferred DNS server, our domain IP address. Domain IP address was 10.0.0.7. Press OK. Close. Now refresh your computer server. Here is your IP address and turn off your firewall. Click here, turn off. Private network, turn off. Public network, turn off. Okay. Now change your computer name. Change Node02. You have to restart this machine. Start now. So we have configured IP address for domain controller Node1 and Node2. So both three machine we have successfully configured IP address. Let me check whether my domain is ready or not. It's my domain. Still it's applying some feature. So domain controller is ready. Let me unlock this machine. Let me put my password. So you can see here local server. Now it's showing the domain name is sql.com, and here is your IP address. So your domain is successfully configured. Let me just quickly change the sleep mode. Change it never. so its screen will be always turn on. Let me go back my Node1. Now we have just successfully configured our domain controller. Now we have to add this Node1 and Node2 with the domain controller. So let me go back, unlock, password. So how you can connect this machine with the domain controller? So let's go local server. Let's go computer name, click on here, change here. Now you can see member of domain, click on here. Then you have to provide the domain name. So our domain name is, let me go back my domain here. So this is my domain and this is my domain name, sql.com. Okay, we have to provide this name, sql.com. Okay, if domain directory for this domain SQL cannot be connected. Okay, so SQL, not sql.com. It's, let me check again. It's sql.local. To provide not com, we have to provide local, sql.local. Next, we have to provide the administrator username. So administrator username is admin creator, and password, we have to provide the password. Now go next. Now it will show welcome to the sql.local domain. Click OK. You have to restart this machine again. Restart now. Now go Node2. This is my Node2. Unlock this machine, provide your password. In this machine we also add to the domain controller. Go local server, click on computer name, change member of, click on domain, and we have to provide the domain name, sql.local. Provide password for administrator. Provide password. Okay. Welcome to the sql.com, sql.local. Close it. You have to restart this machine now. Now let's see. Let me create a domain account. Domain user account, and we will access our domain Node1, Node2 with this particular domain account. Okay, let's go tools. It's my domain. Let's go tools, click on Active Directory, user and computer. You can expand. This is our domain name, sql.local. Click on here, expand it, and if you click on computer, you can see here Node1 and Node2 already added. So this two machine is under this domain. So let me create a user, create a new user, provide a name, Ahsan. So this will be my name, Ahsan @sql.local or SQL // I have to provide a password for this user. Password. And you have to provide, uncheck this, password never expired. Click on here, go next, done. So our user has been created. So we have to provide some permission for this user. So what kind of permission we need for this user? We will add administrator privilege for this user, and we will also add other permission for this user. So let me quickly check our administrator account, what kind of permission this user has. Let me double click on here, member of. As you can see, this user, administrator user, actually has administrator, domain admin, domain user, enterprise admin, group policy create owner, and schema admin. So this all the permission we have to provide this user. Let me just quickly right click on this user, properties, member of. So currently this user is only the domain user. Then we have to provide some other permission. Add, we have to add this user as a admin, administrator. Okay, administrator. Okay, now we have to provide schema creator, check name, schema admin. We have to give this user group policy creator. We just check this group policy creator owner, and we have to provide domain user, domain admin. Domain, let me check. You have to use domain admin. Okay, this permission, administrator, domain user, domain admin, group policy creator, schema admin. Alright, so apply. Okay, done. Let's go back our node 1. This is node 2, node 1. Unlock this computer, and this is administrator. This is local user. We will use now our domain user, what we just created right now, Hassan Habib. So let me check, click on other user, click SQL /Hassan, provide password. So we are logged in. Let me change the sleep mode here. Never. Okay, let's go back our node 2. Unlock other user. Well, Hassan, password. Alright, so we have successfully added our node 1, node 2 with our domain controller, and we have logged in with our domain user. So this is actually domain user. As you can see here, SQL /Hassan, this is actually domain, SQL domain user. Alright, now we have to add some feature in node 1 and node 2. Node 1, let me go back node 1. Okay, here, node 1, go dashboard and add role and feature. Go next. So this is role section. We have to add failover cluster feature. So this should be the feature section. Go next. Now check here. You can see failover clustering. Click on here. Add features. Next. Restart the destination server automatically if required. Yes. So it will install our failover cluster here. Let me same thing for Node2 as well. Go server manager here. Add role and feature. Next, 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 next. Here, failover clustering. Click on here. Add features. Next, restart this the destination server automatically if required. Next, install. So Node1 already rebooted. Okay, so Node1 is ready. Let me just unlock this Node1. Control delete. Put password. Node2 also rebooting. So here, so it was actually rebooted in the middle of installation. So now it's completing the installation. So installation succeeded. Now close it. So now we have failover cluster feature added in our Node1. Let me turn on my Node2. Done. So installation succeeded. You can close it. So now let's go back our Node1. Let me check my failover cluster here. Yes, we have failover cluster here, cluster manager here. So both node we have successfully added our cluster failover cluster. Now we need a network. We need a SAN drive where we actually store our data. So you can create another node for this SAN drive, or you can make your domain controller as a SAN drive. SAN drive means a shared area network. So let me go, or let me check my domain. Domain here. We have to add a feature to make this server as a SAN. So let me go dashboard. Okay, add role and feature. Next, next, next. Here you can see file and storage service. You can expand here. Now expand file and iSCSI services. Expand here. Here is the role we need. iSCSI target server. We have to install this role. Click on here. Check this. Go next. Next. Restart the destination server. Required. Yes. Stop. Okay, installation succeeded. You can close it. So how we can create iSCSI drive? Let me expand this file and storage service. Click on here. You can see iSCSI here. Click on here. Create a iSCSI virtual disk. Click here. At first we have to check which physical drive we will actually will share. So this is the C drive. Only C drive we have in our domain controller. So we can check C drive. Go next. We have to provide a virtual disk name. Disk name should be, suppose, witness. This disk we will create four disks. One will be witness drive, like our quorum. Another will be our data drive. Another will be log file, and another will be our backup file. So go next. to provide this. Okay, maybe 2 GB for witness drive. Go next. Then we have to provide a target where I want to share this drive. So I want to share this drive to my Node1 and Node2. So I have to mention the target where I actually want to share this drive. So go next. So our target will be SAN. Suppose I'm calling it SAN. Go next. And here you have to provide the IP address of your destination where you want to share this drive. So my destination is Node1 and Node2. Node1 IP address. Okay, let me check my Node1 IP address. This is my Node1 and local server. Node1 IP address 10.0.126. Okay, let me put this. This is my domain. Add. Here enter value for the selected type. Click on here. Check here. Click IP address and provide the IP address 10.0.0.126. Let me double check. Yes, 10.2.126. Okay, now press OK. So our node 1 is added. Now I have to add our node 2 IP address. Node 2 IP address. Let me check. Go server, local server. Node 2 IP address is 108. Okay. Same thing. Enter value the selected type. Click on IP address 10.0.0.108. Go next. So our node 1 and node 2 IP address has been added for our destination. Go next. Okay, go next. Now create. So as you can see, there we have a drive, SAN drive, that is called witness. We will create another disk, another 3 more disks. Go on task, new iSCSI virtual disk, select C drive. Let me just put it over. Go next. The name will be data. This drive. Data drive should be 3 GB. Our target, I don't need to create another target. We have already our target selected here since we have created this target SAN and our IP address Node1 Node2 IP address here. So select this one, go next, and now create. So this disk also created data. Let me quickly create another log. Okay, so we have created 3 drives, one for witness, one for data, one for log. Now close it. So we have already shared our drive from our domain. Now let's go back our node 1. So this is my node 1. From domain controller, from SAN drive, the drive is actually pushed. Now we have to pull from this server. So how you can pull? So let me go tools, then you can see iSCSI initiator. Click on here. This service is not running, you have to turn it on. Yeah, yes, it will turn on. Yeah, now you have to provide the target. Where is your source? We have to provide the source name. So let me just quickly discover here. Discover, click on discover portal. Just provide the IP address for your domain controller. So domain, which is your source. 10.0.0.126. our domain controller IP address is 10.0.0.7. So this is our domain controller IP address. Okay, now check target. So as you can see, this is already selected. Send target is selected. Now it is by default it's showing inactive. Now when you connect it, it will connect. So now it is showing it's connected. The drive, whatever we have just shared from domain controller, it's not actually properly configured. We have to configure it from here. So let me check the Windows administrative tools. Click on here. You can see computer management. Click on here, and you can see here disk management. Click here, and here you can see all the disks is available here, but it's showing black because it's offline. So you have to make it online. So right click, make it online. So it's now online but not initialized. You have to initialize it. Right click again, initialize disk 1. Okay, so now it's showing online, but it still is unallocated. Right click here, new simple volume, next. You can give a name. Let me put a name, witness. This will be my witness disk. Next, finish. So same thing, online, make it online, initialize this disk, new simple volume, next, make name it data. Now it is usable. Same thing for disk 3, online, make it online, initialize this disk. Okay, right click here, new simple volume, next, name it log. Now your drive should be online. You can able to see from your Node1. Yeah, so those are drive actually we shared from our domain controller. All right, so let me go back my Node2. Go tools, iSCSI initiators. You have to turn on the service. Yes. You have to discover your source, discover portal. Now put your IP address of your send drive. It was 10.0.0.7. Next. Okay, now go check target. It's already discovered. Now connect it. Okay, now it's connected. Now you can check from your tools, computer management, disk management. You can able to see your disk here, but it's showing offline. Make it online. So your disk is here, make online, disk here, make online. Now you can able to see from Node2 as well. So you can see those 3 drive is accessible from your Node2 and also Node1. So we have successfully configured our send drive. Now we have to create a cluster, failover cluster. So right now I'm Node1. Let me just open our server manager, go tools, go failover cluster manager. So currently we don't have any cluster, just create cluster. Next, you have to add the Node1 and Node2. So I'm Node1, so let me just write down Node1. Node01 add, Node1 is added, Node02 also added. So we are actually creating cluster between Node1 and Node2. Now go next, next. So it will validate your cluster whether you have any issues, connectivity issues. It will check all this thing. Okay, our test is successfully passed. Finish it. Now create a cluster. You can create any cluster. Let me just give a name. SQL cluster. We have to provide an IP address for this cluster. And we have to provide that IP address that is not assigned before. For node 1 we have IP address 126. Let me just put 117.27. Let me check. Yeah, I can use this IP address for making this cluster. So here all eligible storage to the cluster. Check on this one. Go next. Now it will create your cluster. Finish. So your SQL cluster has been created, and you can see expand here. Role. We don't have any SQL Server role here right now. You have node here, node 1, node 2, both are up and running. Storage, expand it and check disk, and you can see disk is here, and you can choose customize your witness drive, which one you want to make your witness quorum drive. So right click on SQL cluster and you can check here more action, configure cluster quorum setting. Go next, advanced quorum configuration. Now you can see all the node selected. Next, configure a disk witness. Go next. Now by default first disk actually selected as a witness drive, so you can check here. You can change any drive, any disk. You can make that disk as a witness quorum. So I'm fine with cluster disk first one. Next, done. So our failover cluster has been properly configured. Now we have to install SQL Server and SSMS. Let me just quickly, I have SQL Server here, SQL Server 2019 here. So I have to install from here. Let me go device, optical drive, choose a disk file. Now you can choose your physical path where is your SQL Server ISO file. So I have this file here, Amazon required software, SQL Server 2019 here. Select here, open it. Now go back your computer. It should be here, CD drives. SQL setup file is already here. Okay, double click here, setup, install. Your SQL Server installation wizard is here. Now check installation. So normally we use new SQL Server standalone installation, but when we create a Windows failover cluster, then we have to use this one, new SQL Server failover cluster installation. You have to check this one, not this one. So check new SQL Server failover cluster installation. Now it's showing developer edition free. Next, accept this license and term. Next, next. Operation completed. Okay, done. Go next. Now you have to choose the SQL Server installation services, which services you want to take. Like we don't need replication, uncheck this one. We need only database engine. Okay, we don't need machine learning, we don't need polybase, we don't need analysis service, integration service, we don't need. Rest of this you can leave it. Next, you have to provide a network name. Okay, network name, MS SQL 01. So I'm providing this name. This is default instance. I'm not installing another instance. This is my default instance. Go next. Okay, go next. So here specify the shared disks to be included. So I have both disks. One disk already assigned for witness, so we cannot use this disk. So we have available 2 disks, so we have to choose both, all the disks here from here. Go next. Now we have to provide the IP address for this SQL connection. Check on IP address and provide the IP address 10.0.0.12. Last time for cluster we provided 1 to 7. Now we can try 1 to 8. Next. Okay, now we have to provide a username for this SQL Server agent. Expand it. Browse. Enter directory SQL local. Click on here. I will provide ASAN for this account. Copy this, paste it here, and provide the password. Okay, now go next. You have to choose the mix mode. Provide SA password here. Add current user. Data directory, you have to change here. Data directory E drive. So my E drive I cannot use. Okay, it's showing E drive we can use. D drive. E and D. Okay. And for log file, okay, just leave it as it is. Now go next. Install. So it will take a while. Okay, so our Node1 SQL Server installation, Failover SQL Server installation has been successfully installed. Okay, now let's go back our Node2. Let me turn on. Okay, now install SQL Server here, optical drive, choose a disk, SQL Server 2019 ISO file, open, file manager, CD drive, setup, yes. So in our second node, we have to install add a node to SQL Server Failover cluster. Our first node, we use new SQL Server Failover cluster installation. In our second node, we have to install, you have to select add node to a SQL Server Failover cluster. Click on here. Go next. Accept this license and term. Next. Next. Okay, go next here. So this is my existing instance name, default instance on node 2. Go next. IP address already has been selected. Go next. To provide the password for my user. Go next. Now install. Alright, our second node also SQL Server has been successfully installed. Let me just go on node 2. Node 1. Okay, we have successfully installed SQL Server. We have to install now Management Studio here. Let me quickly turn off the internet security. Turn off. Go Internet Explorer. SSMS, download SSMS, download. Alright, SSMS has been downloaded. Now we can install this software. Yes. Install. Okay, SSMS also installed. So we have to reboot the machine. Start. Okay. Unlock the computer. Alright. So now quickly check your failover cluster manager. See here, role SQL Server role is running and our owner node is node02. So this is our primary server right now. So this is actually active node and passive node is now currently this one. So this node 1 is actually passive and this node 2 is active. Now if you try to failover from node 2 to node 1, so you can do it from here. So right click here, move base node, now click node1. Okay, so now your role will be shipped, like you're from node1 to node2 to node1. Now it's showing node1 services is still pending. It's now running. So now your primary node is node01. Let me open my SSMS. Okay, MS SQL 01. This is my SQL name. Connect. There you go. So we don't have any database right now. We can quickly create a database. Test, and test log file will be saved in my E drive. Okay. I have this database. Now, in case anything happen, so let me just quickly change the node 2. So primary server is my node 2. Let me check. Now it's changed, node 2 is my primary node. So in case anything happen, your node 2, it will automatically fail over to node 1. So let me real time I can show you. So this is my node 2 and node 2 is my primary node right now. Let me quickly turn off this machine, shut down. You can see immediately it will change the node here. The node will be now on node 1. You see automatically it's failover. Okay, this is how you actually configure failover cluster. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.